What are you doing out there?
Good morning, Mr. Jake. I was just looking.
What at?
Well, nothing really. I wasn't looking at nothing in particular.
It's Sunday morning. Go away, Coffee.
Sunday morning, yeah. Do you know, I couldn't help noticing as I was standing there looking at everything in general, so to speak, I couldn't help noticing that you can hear them singing in the church.
That's Harvest Thanksgiving you can hear. Although there's some farmers, wild horses wouldn't drag the name from me, who shall be hiding it from God, not taking it up to the church for him to see.
Farmer Hudson.
How did you know that?
Well, it's always him, isn't it?
Now, the cereals, different matter entirely. Quality, plain for all to see.
And who grew those, or wouldn't wild horses drag that name from you neither?
As a matter of fact, it was me.
Oh. Yeah. Listen, if you invited me in, I could help.
All right, you can come in if you don't help, but it'll take twice as long.
Yeah.
Just come in and keep quiet.
It must be a comfort to you now your daughter Mandy's gone to live in Australia. Yeah, a fair long way Australia, isn't it? I expect you gets a bit lonely here all by yourself with her having gone to Australia. Do you know, I couldn't help wondering when I was standing out there all by myself looking at nothing in particular, I couldn't help noticing how much space you got out there. Room enough for a caravan, I shouldn't wonder.
I shouldn't wonder either if I were you. If it's your caravan you're hinting at, I shouldn't even bother thinking about it.
No, I just thought if you was missing the company, I wouldn't mind helping you out, you see?
I am not missing anything, and if I was, I wouldn't want a dirty old tinker's caravan parked in my backyard.
Yeah, well, I'm not lonely neither. I'm as happy as a sandboy on top of my hill, and don't you go thinking anything different then.
Then why don't you go back up there and leave me to do my housework?
Oh, yes, a woman's work is never done, is it? Yeah, you wouldn't like me to join you in a cup of tea?
No, I would not.
One cup of tea?
Go away.
Yes, Mr. T.
Now look what you've done.
Bye. Thank you for coming. Bye, sir. Bye.
Jolly good sermon, Vicar.
Oh, thank you, Peter.
I love the Harvest Thanksgiving service.
Well, it gives us a chance to thank the Lord for making it all possible.
Well, he could have made it a lot easier. He's been a bit more careful with the weather this year.
Oh, you're a terrible cynic, Peter. You know, I think you only come to church to listen to the music.
He should become a Methodist. They've got a great organ over there. They sing more hymns in their services.
True, they don't go crashing down on their knees quite as often as our lot either. Cheerio.
Cheerio.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Was that quite the right thing to say to a vicar?
I was only joking.
Well, he didn't seem very amused. I suppose in purely practical terms, somebody should give him a hand clearing up the harvest.
Oh, I would imagine he's not short of assistance. Half the congregation brought their prayer books and their shopping bags.
Now, is that quite the right spirit, we ask ourselves? Was not the harvest offered up to God?
It's true, but with the market prices being what they are today, I don't think they'll mind him looking at it or even blessing it. But I do think they'll draw the line at him nicking it.
You know, he's right. You are a cynic.
Nonsense. I'm a realist.
Ah, do I see a helper? Better yet, do I see the return of the prodigal son?
Well, I was just passing by and I wondered...
Yes, the faithful have departed, Cuffy. We're left with nothing more than overripe fruits and rotting cabbage leaves.
Oh, well, make good compost, won't it?
Yes, but we have not raised our voices in song to celebrate the completion of a compost heap.
Oh, well, have you had a good day, Reverend Vicar, sir?
Well, my flock has loaned us the fruit of their labours, but since returned for the more commercial reason of delivering it to market in the morning.
Well, didn't anybody leave anything then?
Yes, Cuffy, yours is just there, look.
Oh, well, I didn't...
No, go on. You help yourself because everybody else has.
Oh, all right, then. I mean, I don't mind taking it off your hands. Hey, you all right?
Yes, perfectly.
Yeah, come here. I'll give you a hand with that rubbish, shall I? Where's your feet?
Thank you.
Yeah, you look a bit depressed.
No, I'm just a bit disillusioned.
Well, I don't know the difference between them two words.
I mean, Cuffy, that they come to church like it's a duty. It's like visiting the sick.
Well, you don't come in here expecting to have a good laugh now, do you?
Maybe that's where I'm at fault.
Yeah, you're not going to put on a string of comics, are you? Not in church.
No. I sometimes wonder, Cuffy. The world advances, yet the church just stands still. I mean, take the Harvest Festival, for example. Now, time was, and a farmer, he ploughed his field with just the aid of his horse. And 6 months later, he harvested the crop by hand. Now, he needed God to provide rain to moisten and sunshine to ripen, strength to ward off disease. Yet today, the farmer attacks his field with, machinery, fertilizers, chemical spray helicopters, combine harvesters to gather it in and parcel the whole thing up. So, who needs God? Yep, we come here, we praise him as though nothing has changed in 100 years.
Hey, that's not all acting you do in that pulpit, is it?
Of course it isn't. I mean, my faith in God is totally unshaken. No, it's people that I begin to doubt. You know, Cuffy, there are Sundays when I look down on a thin sprinkling of worshippers, and they sit there as meek as lambs, and I shout at them, "For the wicked shall perish in the flames of hell!" And I see them cowering in fear. But you see, Cuffy, I'm shouting at the wrong people. Can't you see that? The people I should be shouting to are out of earshot.
Well, you need to be the other side of Banbury to miss hearing that.
I mean, where's Jake? And where are you? Where are all those people the church could help the most? You know, sometimes I look at my half-filled church and I pray that he might give me a sign. You know, what Shillingbury needs is a miracle.
Well, if that's what they need, you ought to give them one.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you've got enough in here to get up a spanking good miracle.
Cuffy, really? Anyway, thank you very much for your help.
Well, I don't seem to have done very much.
No, yes, you have. You have. You've allowed me to blow off some steam.
Oh, no, everybody's allowed to do that once in a while, Reverend Vicar, sir.
Yes, but you must take no notice of what I've said.
Well, that's all right, because I never done that. Yeah. What we're going to do with all this rubbish, then?
Well, we sweep it beneath the carpet. It's something the church has become most adept. Out of sight and out of mind.
Yeah, that's what they think about tinkers when the winter comes and the weather gets cold. They think I go in my caravan and don't come out again until spring. Well, yeah, then. Yes, well, I'll just take these. I mean, I don't really mind taking them off your hands if it's any help. Yeah. No, there's only 3 onions this year. Oh.
Jake! Well, whatever time is it?
Well, it's a bit early yet, but I must talk to you.
What now? It's crack of dawn.
It's urgent.
Okay, hang on a moment. Come in, Jake. What is it?
Well, I know it may seem rather foolish now that daylight's come, but it was really rough last night.
Oh, sit down. I'll put the kettle on.
My farmhouse is haunted.
Haunted?
Yes.
You mean you've actually seen something?
No, I didn't exactly see anything.
But you've heard it?
No, I didn't exactly hear anything either. Oh, I do wish you wouldn't do that.
Sorry.
It's just that, well, I'm Still a bit jumpy.
And, well, how does this thing manifest itself?
By the means of an evil and obnoxious smell.
A smell?
A smell.
You're telling me that there's some ghost wandering around the farm emitting smells?
Don't mock me, young upstart.
I'm not mocking you, Jake.
I know that it must seem silly now, but last night, on the stroke of midnight, my living room was filled with an all-pervading smell.
Hello, Jake. You're bright and early this morning.
Jake's got something to tell you.
Not if she's going to laugh like you did.
Well, I won't laugh. Why should I?
You tell her.
He reckons there's a ghost up at the farm.
What?
There, I told you she'd laugh.
No, I'm not. I'm not laughing. What does it look like, this ghost?
Well, it doesn't look like anything, nor does it rattle chains. It kind of drifts around the living room, letting off awful smells.
Oh, you can laugh, Mrs. Higgins, but it gave me a nasty turn, I'll tell you that.
Yes, I'm sure it did, Jake. It's just that in the cold light of day, these things always seem a bit melodramatic. Look, would you like some breakfast, and then we can talk about it?
I don't want anybody doing me any favours.
Lay the table, Pete.
Right.
What would you like, Jake?
Oh, I don't think I could eat anything.
Coffee?
Coffee, yes. With a little porridge, maybe.
Okay.
And some bacon and eggs.
Bacon and eggs.
With toast and marmalade.
Quite right. You can't go ghost hunting on an empty stomach. Well, to start with, I suppose we are sure it is a ghost. I mean, we only have...
My word for it.
It's not that. Peter's only asking if you couldn't possibly be mistaken, Jake. I mean, after all, the window blew open, the fire flickered, and there was a smell.
If you don't believe me, why don't you come right out and say so?
It's going to be awfully difficult if you're going to be so sensitive.
Tell you what, I'll go to the library this morning, have a look through the reference books, see if there's any history of hauntings in Shillingbury.
My farm is in the history books.
Is it? Well, that's relevant. Why didn't you say so before?
Because Mrs. Higgins just put it in my mind, that's why.
What do the books say, Jake?
Well, parts of it are 15th century. The fireplace in particular. And the south barn is also very old. It's been rebuilt several times. And there's supposed to be some sort of cellar somewhere underneath it, but we've never found it.
It's worth taking another look.
Oh, Mandy was in the barn just before she left, looking out some books her grandfather left her.
Do you suppose she could have disturbed something? Something supernatural?
I don't know. Maybe she could at that.
Look, I'll go around and have a chat with Norris.
The Reverend? What could he know about it?
The church records often contain evidence of this sort of thing.
And then we'll all meet up at your place one night and...
And?
Well, see if it happens again.
Well, if it happens again, it can do without me.
It can't mean you'll leave.
I'm not saying I'll leave, but I sure as hell won't stay. Morning, Coffee.
Oh, hello, Mr. Jake.
How's it going on, then?
Well, I was just wondering why your animals can't do what they've got to do a bit nearer to where you're going to need it.
I hope you weren't offended yesterday when I sent you away.
Hey, no, I wasn't offended. No, I've been told to go away all my life, you know, but I only get upset when people say don't come back.
What exactly did you have in mind?
Well, nothing really. It's just that the evenings are getting darker and longer, and I mean, you're here all alone.
So you thought you'd move in the house with me, then?
Oh, no. I wouldn't want to sleep in a house, because you can't hear the sounds of the night when you're inside a house.
What, then, the yard?
Well, it's a good idea. I could park my caravan in your yard, you know, it'd be nice and sheltered. And Yorkie would be a lot better off in a stable when the weather gets cold.
So it's the horse you're thinking of?
Well, yes, they get awfully rheumatic-y up on the hill.
The wheels on your caravan are all to pot. You'd tear the bottom off of it if you tried to move it.
Oh, well, I wouldn't want to move without my caravan.
Well, maybe it's not impossible at that. We'll have a chat about it.
Oh, well, no, well, I'd have to have a think about that then.
What about?
Well, I mean, I remember you yesterday, you were saying that you didn't want any dirty old tinker's caravan messing up your yard. And here you are now, you're saying, no, I'm going to have a think about that.
Well, it's just that it came as a bit of a surprise, that all. I mean, say, you don't make an instant decision on somebody moving in alongside you now, do you?
Well, nothing happened to sort of change it like, did it?
Do you want to come to the farm or not?
Well, when do you want me to move in?
Tonight.
So he's been living at the farm all his life and never noticed anything like this before.
It's all nonsense, of course. He just had a few creaks and groans from the old place and allowed his imagination to do the rest.
Where does your interest lie in all this?
Well, Sally and I made a few remarks this morning. Only in fun, of course, but I think we upset the old boy. So I said I'd come round and See if you had any stories about ghosts or hauntings.
Well, my calling is more for the Holy Spirit than the dark spectre.
I only wanted to put his mind at rest.
Yes, of course, of course. Well, this was originally a Catholic church and survived the hazards of a religious obstacle course up until the Reformation.
Oh, this church was involved?
Oh, yes, very much so. There's a great deal of history, you know, contained within the boundaries of Shillingbury.
Parts of Jake's farm go back to the 15th century.
Ah, so he does have a link with the church after all, if only in longevity. It's strange, isn't it? That a chap like him will fall for things that go bump in the night while stolidly resisting beliefs of a more redemptive nature.
Well, thanks very much for giving me your time.
Well, I'm afraid it's all to very little avail, but if what you're really after is some kind of historical gossip column, there's no one better than Ma Cronin to supply you with that.
Ma Cronin?
Oh, she's a positive fund of supernatural whimsies, and she spends her days dabbling with the occult, trying to make contact with her dear departed husband.
I must say, I wouldn't like to live alone in Jake's farm.
No, but if you had to?
I'd probably invent myself a friendly ghost.
Snap! Snap! Yeah, I'm getting good at this game, and I bet none of you thought I'd be as good as I am, did you?
Oh, no, Coffee.
No, well, I've seen pictures of people playing cards, but I never played myself before tonight. Yeah, I don't know why they make it look so difficult.
There are other games, slightly more complicated than this one.
Yeah, but shall we have another round?
Must we?
What do you do all by yourself up in that caravan at night, Coffee?
Oh, well, mostly I sit in the doorway and looks, you know. I mean, I can't read or write, so mainly I just looks. And there's an awful lot to see, you know. I mean, folk don't know how much. Do you know, I can see, 20, 30 miles from the top of my hill. And you get fields and meadows come into view. And I plant the crops, and I sow them, and I imagine them grow in, and then I harvest them. Trouble is, I spend so much time thinking about it, I never get around to doing anything about it.
Well, it's 10:30. Not a whiff of your smelly friend?
It was there last night. I know you don't believe me, but I'm telling you it was there.
I'm not saying I don't believe you.
Come on, let's not have another argument.
Wait a minute, what's going on here? What was there last night?
Well, Jake thinks there's a ghost haunting the farm.
A ghost? Well, nobody said anything to me about a ghost. I mean, you didn't say anything about a ghost.
Well, it must have slipped my mind.
Well, when you said I could come here and stay, it was because you was frightened.
Me? Frightened? Catch me being frightened.
It's nothing to be ashamed of.
I think it's a good idea, Cuffy, staying here. Keep you company.
Well, I think that'd be a terrible idea. I'm not going to share my bed with sorcerers and witches and black magic and mumbo-jumbo. No, I'm going home.
I think it'd be a good idea if we all went home.
Well, how about one more hand, just for coffee here?
Never said anything about the ghost. Oh, that wasn't fair. He put me off the game. I can't concentrate.
Snap!
Oh.
The wind's picked up.
Hey, look at the fire.
What's wrong with the fire?
I don't know. I thought I saw something.
What?
Did the flames start flickering, like the wind was blowing in from one side?
Well, I'm not sure now. Well, perhaps I imagined it, eh?
It was how it started last night.
It's burning perfectly normally now.
And there was this terrible smell. Anything?
What's the hell? It's soot.
Here, let me have a go. Coffee? Would you mind moving back a bit? You're confusing things.
Well, he never said anything about a haunting.
We know that, Cuffy. You've told us already.
Look, I really do think we should be going home.
Yes, well, I don't want to keep you from your beds if you're sure it'll be okay. Oh, it's probably best we call it a day.
Yeah, I'll get the coats.
Yeah, would you like a cup of tea before you go?
No thanks, Cuff, no.
I would. Yeah, well, I'll be away up my hill then.
You sure you'll be all right up there
Yeah,
alone?
I'll be a lot less frightened up there than I will be down here.
Sorry we weren't more helpful.
Right, Jake. Take care.
Cheerio. Sleep well.
Yeah, I'll be round in the morning, same as usual.
All right.
Hey, what happened?
What happened?
Well, you slept here. Something must have happened.
Immediately you left, the very moment, just as though it was waiting.
Oh, if only we'd stayed a bit longer.
No good. Whatever it was, biding its time until I was alone.
Oh, hey, that's spooky, Mr. Jake.
The same as it was before. The wind and that great crash as the window blew open.
Oh.
And those flickering flames of that all-enveloping smell. Only there was something else.
What?
An organ.
An organ? What, you mean like a church organ?
Great majestic chords echoing. Now near, now distant.
Oh, if only I'd been there.
Why do you keep saying that? The moment you heard there was a ghost, you couldn't wait to beat it up to your caravan.
Well, it didn't seem so frightening when I got out in the fresh air.
Well, there's more than I could take. I preferred to stay the night with the animals.
Yeah, were they disturbed?
Only by me.
Well, you see, animals sometimes sense the supernatural quicker than what we do.
Not the stupid ones that I've got.
No, Mr. Jake, here, listen, you're not having us on, are you? You know, joking like.
I don't have that kind of humour, Coffee. If I thought somebody was joking with me, I'd kill him.
Well, what are you going to do?
I don't know. It's got me beat.
Well, I mean, you can't leave the farm to look after itself.
Can't I? Just you watch me. I'm not sleeping in that house again.
Oh.
Well, somebody's got to help him.
Okay. Find him an exorcist. Try the yellow pages.
Oh, you're impossible.
Okay. So, let's start with the premise that there is not a ghost.
I've got a better idea. Let's start with the premise that there is a manifestation of some sort.
Okay. So, he is experiencing something, but because there's no immediate rational explanation, he's allowing his imagination to run away with him.
Listen to this. The reported incidences of manifestation by smell increased considerably during the latter part of the 19th century. A country house in Sussex was well known for an evil odour which became apparent at midnight whenever the moon was full. The house stood on the site once occupied by the hangman's gibbet, and the sudden smell was often accompanied by the sound of the villain's last strangled gasp.
Does that surprise you?
You really don't want to know, do you?
It's all claptrap. Jake's just having us on.
No, he's not. I learned a lot in that library. It's very interesting.
But you're surely not going to fall for all that rubbish. I mean, latter part of the 19th century, country house in Sussex, at midnight when the moon is full, It's cliches. They never write at 4:30 on the 6th of October in semi-detached number 4 Shaney Walk in the middle of a rush hour. A comic figure with a false moustache gave a great impression of Groucho Marx.
That's where you're wrong, because there is a story of a poltergeist in Streatham.
Oh, come on, Sal.
All right, well, how about this then? Now, it's in a chapter about priest holes. Here we are. During the reign of Henry VIII, many of the faithful built concealed priest holes in their homes. Some of these constructions were cunning in the extreme, and a few still exist to this day. Now then, Jake said that his farmhouse was built in the 15th century. The living room fireplace is a significant feature because here are listed towns and villages with meritorious monuments, and Shillingbury is mentioned. Now, Peter, you cannot ignore that.
You're really into this, aren't you?
I'm interested.
4 books and you're convinced.
4 books, and I would like to learn more about it. I don't believe that Jake is the sort of man who frightens easily, and I would just like to see for myself what he saw last night.
Smelt.
Smelt, then. Anyway, you don't have to come. You can stay here. I don't see how you can be so pompous without at least investigating all the facts.
I'm not pompous, I'm practical.
What have you got in mind, then?
Well, for a start, I wonder why no one's ever thought of taking the fireplace to pieces.
You can't do that. It's a priceless antique.
All the more reason.
So you are coming with me, then?
Well, I'm not going to stay here in Rose Cottage alone. I might get jumped on by a poltergeist.
This chimney is enormous. Heat loss must be tremendous.
You know, I don't think Jake's too happy about us doing this.
Well, neither am I. I should be working.
We can't take this to pieces like you said. The workmanship on this woodwork is so beautiful.
I tell you what, I hate to admit it, but there is a smell. Faint but distinctive.
Oh, can I have a look?
Go ahead.
Oh, it's spooky, isn't it?
We're not using words like that, remember.
Do you think it's right that we should meddle with the supernatural?
Well, nobody has yet shown me any evidence to support anything supernatural. All I've been told is that there's a nasty smell and the wind blew the fire out. Sal! Sal! Sal? Don't play silly games. Sally! Oh, my God. Jake! 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 Oh, coffee. It's my wife, Sally. She's disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes, she's gone.
Gone?
Just went clean up the chimney.
Clean up the chimney?
Don't repeat everything I say. Get Jake.
Well, what's he gonna do?
I don't know. Just get him.
Well, like, what you want is a chimney sweep.
Sally! Sal! Sally?
I'm here.
That has to be the stupidest thing you've ever done.
Well, you are pompous. I couldn't resist it.
You frightened the life out of me.
Sorry. Really, I am.
Where were you, anyway?
Well, there's a bar that stretches right across the chimney. Then there's a stone ledge. So I pulled myself up. Then there's some steps leading down. Come on, I'll show you.
Was there room for 2?
Sort of. Right. Give me the torch. There's the bar.
Good Lord. Oh, this was no builder's accident.
No. Paradise for Father Christmas, though. What do you think it was used for?
I haven't the faintest idea. You know, it's funny. Sitting here trying to fathom out the mind of a builder 400 years ago.
There's no sign of Jake anywhere. I said there's no... Oh, my God.
That was coffee.
Hey, there's the steps. Can't see the bottom. You game?
Oh, do you think we'll meet Vincent Price?
Hang on to me. Must be a long way below floor level. I wonder where that goes.
Probably comes up in a pothole in Cornwall.
Run.
Coffee?
Where are you going?
I'm going home.
Where's Mr. and Mrs. Higgins?
Well, they've been taken and heaven knows where.
Stop it, you're making me nervous.
Yeah, well, I'm frightening myself to death. I am.
Coffee! Jake!
Oh.
It is I! Jake! Where are you?
In the chimney!
Chimney? What chimney?
Your chimney!
What the hell was that?
I don't know.
Mr. Jake? Oh, everybody's been taken. Call the fire brigade. Call the fire brigade! Get the fire brigade!
Jake!
His voice didn't seem as if it came from the living room.
Hold it, look.
What is it?
It's a grill. Quiet. Listen.
You've disturbed something by tapping that. Some form of energy.
Nonsense. Just shut up and listen.
Pete, the smell.
We've got to know what's on the other side of this wall.
Seems to go on forever.
Some sort of cave.
Or a black hole stretching back into time.
Will you stop being so dramatic?
Listen, voices echoing. They're trying to tell us something.
You can only get this grill off. See what's on the other side.
Voices from the other side trying to communicate.
Oh, shut up. Just point the torch there.
Pete, we're interfering with something we don't understand.
Sal, pull yourself together.
Pete! Pete! Oh! Yeah, man.
Jake! Jake! Can you hear me?
I'm here. Who is that calling me?
Peter, you fool! Where are you?
I'm under the barn. Where are you?
It's not a cave. We're in a tunnel.
Jake mentioned a cellar under the barn.
No, not a cellar. It's a tunnel, the other end of this one.
I think the fireplace is connected to the barn then.
Oh, when I was at the barn door, I heard you giggling quite distinctly.
Hello?
Hold on, Jake. I think we're coming to you.
I don't know how we're going to get out of here. There's nothing to stand on.
You're in your cellar, aren't you?
If I am, it's bigger than I thought.
It's not a cellar, never was. We're in a tunnel.
Oh, boy. Oh, glad to see you.
I'm pleased you recognized us.
I fell through. So, what do we do now?
The tunnel's blocked. It's been a fall.
It'll take us days to get through that lot.
We can always go back the way we've come.
No need. The SAS is on the way.
Jake. Hey. Who's your friend?
Oh, my God.
I must say this skeleton is most interesting. Now, in this case, a criminal fleeing from the law who sought shelter in a local house. Well, the owner of this house took pity and hid him in a cellar. And the authorities came, searched the place, and found this unfortunate criminal. And the poor fellow was told that he'd chosen his own final resting place.
Do you mean they just walled him up and left him to die?
Well, so the story goes.
Oh, how awful.
Look, shouldn't we tell somebody about this? At least about the discovery of a dead body.
You mean the police? I don't think they'd want to investigate a 400-year-old murder.
I'd like to avoid lots of people poking around before we've learnt more about the mysterious noises, where the smell comes from, and what bright spark built a full-size organ in the bowels of the earth.
Hello, Coffee.
Oh, evening, Mr. Jake.
Have you lost a shoe?
No, I found one. This is a surprise?
Yes, well, I thought I'd just climb up the hill to see if you were all right.
Yeah. Suppose you was a bit worried about me, was you? Because you hadn't seen me since tea time.
Well, we'd been having a talk about you spending a couple of nights down at the farm.
Oh, no, not me. That must have been some other tinker who hadn't been told anything about a haunting.
Well, it didn't seem important at the time.
No, I wouldn't be seen dead down to your place. Because I'd be too afraid I might be seen dead down to your place.
Yes, well, that's understandable with your mentality. You'd be frightened at first. No, having to say you not having an education, you wouldn't take a philosophical view.
Do you take a philosophical view, Mr. Jake?
I should like to think so.
I don't know what philosophical means.
It means I'm scared out of my wits, that's what it means. It means I'm not spending another night in that farm till somebody gets rid of those evil spirits.
Well, it looks like they got rid of you already.
You won't rile me, Coffee. I'm far too frightened to be riled.
No, listen, I'm scared down there as well, but it all goes away as soon as I get back up here.
Yes, I wondered,
What?
you wouldn't have room for another one up here for a couple of nights, would you?
You don't mean that? You wouldn't leave your animals?
No, of course not. I'll be best sleeping in the barn with them.
Listen, I could join you there if you like.
Would you?
Well, if you let me park my caravan in your yard, you know, just for the winter.
Well, of course you should have asked before.
I'll tell you something else as well. If you was to ask Mr. and Mrs. Higgins to stay in the house, I bet you they would.
What makes you say that?
Well, they're as puzzled as we are, but they're not half as frightened, especially him.
Yeah, well, he's got an education, you see. I suppose... Here, hang on a minute. If they stayed in the farm with me, I wouldn't need you in the barn.
Oh, but you got me now, haven't you?
Eh?
Well, after repeated invitations to come and join you down there, I finally accepted. Just to help you out, of course.
You know, Cuffy, there's something about you that's always been a mystery to me.
What's that?
You've no intelligence, not much education, and you're none too fresh body-wise. But you always seem to get your own way.
Nice shoe, isn't it?
I don't think I could take another evening of cards with Jake.
Well, you can't expect mysterious happenings to manifest themselves to order, you know.
Well, you'd have thought with all the racket we were making this afternoon, they'd be running around like mad things.
Oh, perhaps we frighten them.
Oh, maybe we did at that. Broke the atmosphere.
Jake said the wind was blowing on the last 2 nights. Moaning and groaning, he said.
There has to be a reason for everything.
Supposing that the reason is quite simply that a presence does exist.
Then we could learn about it, understand it, and cease to be frightened of it.
Yogo, Mr. Higgins.
Yes?
Something's happening. I can hear things.
We're coming!
It all started the same as before with this rushing sound. And then there was this smell. And as I came up to call you, I heard an organ.
It's the same smell as this afternoon.
No, it's stronger.
I'm glad you were here to hear it for yourselves.
Look at the flames.
Well, at least we solved that. It's the draft from the tunnel.
There's an organ playing. You listen.
That sort of trick of the wind.
There is no wind. What is it, Pete? What could it be?
Shh.
Well, you heard something.
Yes.
What?
A wrong note.
This is no time to worry about the tune.
Well, don't ghosts play wrong notes, then?
Not that particular wrong note. There's only one person that I know that never fails to mess up that phrase. Told him a dozen times it's C sharp in the left hand. Come on.
Well, where are we going?
Bloody well tell him again.
Are you going out?
Won't be long.
Oh, well, I think I'll just pop outside and check if the animals are all right.
Oh, yeah, well, I'll go now, Mr. Jake.
fine piece. It's really splendid stuff. I could listen to him playing all night.
How long has this been going on? Organ recitals in the small hours?
There seems no end to the rift between Frank Bellows and Farmer Hudson. He says he'd rather play at night than cause another argument.
Yes, but the sound of his playing is coming through Jake's fireplace.
Yes, now, the tunnel to the barn didn't seem to make any sense, but the tunnel to the church?
Absolutely extraordinary.
You know your story about the man hiding from the law? Could it have been a priest fleeing from his persecutors?
A secret tunnel to the priest's home?
Well, if that's true, I think I know where this tunnel starts.
Where?
Follow me. I've been particularly stupid not to think of this before. Ooh. If you could take that in for me.
Well. What's down there?
Well, I thought a cellar or maybe an unused tomb. There seemed nothing else.
May we take a look?
Yes, by all means.
We'll need a light.
Coming up. There we are.
Thank you.
How do we get down there?
I'll show you. You'll find a flight of stone steps. Right.
Would you mind asking Frank to switch off the organ pump?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
This is where the smell came from.
Ugh. Seems as if we're walking in a rubbish tip.
That's exactly what it is. Remnants of the Harvest Festival and goodness knows what else. Our reverend friend up there found it more convenient than the long trudge to the dustbins.
Hey, look what I found.
What is it?
It's a grill, just like the other one.
Then we were right. A tunnel from the church to the farm. What a remarkable achievement for those days.
Is anybody there?
Where are you?
Say who you are.
It's Peter and Sally. Is that you, Dick?
Yes, I'm by the fireplace.
Where are you? In under the church. I think we finally solved the mystery.
Hello?
Was that you?
No, it wasn't. Did somebody call?
Hello?
Speak to me. Who are you calling?
I'm trying to talk to my dear departed husband.
Yeah, that's my Cronin. You got a cross line, Mrs. Cronin. You better hang up and try again later.
That hat just doesn't go.
Doesn't go with what?
The weather. Unless you're planning to leave one inside and the other outside.
We're going to church.
Shall I wear a tie?
It's up to you. You know, the vicarage phone just hasn't stopped ringing. And Jake and his fireplace have been photographed from every possible angle.
I think I will wear a tie.
The Society for Psychic Research are coming down today, and they're going to examine every inch of that tunnel. They're particularly interested in the air vents.
That'll upset Ma Cronin. She thinks the grill on our old well shaft is a personal voice pipe to the spirits.
You know, a part of me resents all this sudden public interest. I mean, that's our tunnel, yours and mine. We discovered it.
Well, like I said, there has to be a reason for everything, including me putting on a tie.
Just 1 week ago, we celebrated Harvest Festival in the presence of a congregation which left our church a little less than half full. And you know, I prayed for some sign which might lead the way to larger attendances. Well, today my simple mind tells me that somewhere someone heard my call. We are gathered here today to praise God, not to marvel in the wonders of man. And whatever your reasons are for joining us today, I do welcome you. I feel, you know, that this week we've witnessed a miracle. The Shillingbury Miracle.
And considering
Well,
it's
now,
Cuffy who
see, in
suggested a
number
miracle in the first place,
486.
he'd have thought he'd have turned up today.
It's a rotten rainy day, and Cuffy was never one for putting himself out.
What else are tunnels for?